Violent crime continues to rise across the country. That's according to the FBI. Experts report the highest number of gun-related deaths the past few years, but there's potential solutions the Quad Cities is rolling out to curb the violence. Tonight, News 8's Devin Brooks begins a three-part special report, first sitting down with local leaders and a shooting victim to see the impact firsthand. Devin?
John, in the past few years, Davenport police tell me there's been a rise in calls surrounding shootings. Some police say they respond to only find shell casings or damage to homes and vehicles. And other times there's victims and families who have to deal with tragedies for the rest of their life.
It's just seemed like it's gotten worse.
We've seen levels of gun violence that we have never experienced before.
We just want to make an impact. Just not through gun violence, but all types of trauma.
They was aiming to kill him.
Gun violence.
It can happen to anybody.
Arthur Abbey is anybody.
26 years old when my life changed.
I'm gonna change Arthur trait that's in his throat.
This scene.
October 25th, 2017 changed everything.
From the neck down.
I woke up in the hospital, didn't know where I was at or what had happened to me.
Arthur was shot 5 times, hitting his shoulder, neck, arm, and spinal cord.
This thing is in my throat that holds for me to talk.
With his mom by his side.
They told me he wasn't gonna make it.
Today, he's making it.
Gotta unhook it.
But not like before.
I didn't know I couldn't even move at first.
Life now.
I'm just gonna silence the machine.
Requires 24-hour care.
You're just cleaning the open hole that's in his throat. You okay?
Yeah.
As a result, the plea for safer streets is taking a new direction.
I just want to provide help where I can.
D'Amber Carter is with the city of Davenport.
A lot of the individuals that we speak to probably aren't ready to stop what they're doing. This is how they live, and they don't know about a different lifestyle.
She's been hired to run the city's new program aimed at tackling violent crime.
Even if they don't accept services, if they take that message, put the gun down, tell their friends to put the gun down.
It's called Group Violence Intervention, or GVI.
The message is simple. We want to see people safe, we want to see people alive, and we want to see people out of prison.
But police face the opposite every day.
You look at our officers, they're exhausted. We've worked a number of cases within the last 3 or 4 years. Gun violence is still leading the news almost every night in every community.
We've just learned that the shooting that happened near Hamilton Elementary School in Moline this morning was deadly.
And this is what's left behind. Nearly 80 shell casings later found on top of the parking ramp.
Just a few hours before concert, the 90s metal band Korn found with an apparent bullet hole on the side of its tour bus.
As a community, we're mourning the death of a young man.
Community leaders say they knew they had to do more when the violence started taking the lives of young children. One of those incidents happened in the alley right beside me last year. It's where a 12-year-old boy was shot and killed while playing in broad daylight.
All of that is terrible, but when a child is involved, an innocent person, nothing to do with it, certainly ups that concern.
And when you look at the numbers, it doesn't show the bigger picture. Going back to 2019 was the least amount of incidents in the past few years. Crime spiked during the height of the pandemic, dropped slightly last year, and since late October, 2022 is not fallen far behind 2021.
And what do you say to residents, to some people who say Davenport isn't safe?
I say I don't agree with that. I say we're safe. Are we there where we need to be yet? Nope.
Stand together and proclaim that violence is not tolerated.
The faded ones are people that died through gun violence. My son and a friend of his represent that they're still here.
And while countless families grieve, the alarm is still sounding.
That's how we know something's going on.
Something this family is living with forever. Things most take for granted, like coughing or
sometimes I'm scared to go to certain places.
A feeling no one should have.
It's sad. It's just kids getting shot. I still have young kids too. I fear for them. And I really fear for them because we don't know who shot my son.
A fear felt across the community.
That family told me Arthur had just walked out of his new home and was heading to pick up his son from basketball practice when the incident happened. Police believe it was a targeted shooting. And since then, Arthur and his family are hoping for financial support that can either pay for him to have a walk-in shower, a new bed, or service dog. In studio, Devin Brooks, WQAD News 8.
Alrighty, thank you, Devin. And we have more on that and efforts on the Illinois side of the river right now on our website. Just go to WQAD.com. And coming up next week, Devin will give us an extensive look at how the GVI program works after taking a trip to South Bend, Indiana, where the program has been up and running for the last 10 years. And a reminder, if you have any information on any cases, you can call Crime Stoppers of the Quad Cities at the number on your screen. You can remain anonymous and potentially receive a reward.